ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at 3.3, proving lines are parallel. Okay. We have corresponding angle converse. How is this different than corresponding angles? Well, corresponding angle says if the lines are parallel, then the two corresponding angles are congruent. If we read this, it says two lines are cut by a transversal so that the corresponding angles are congruent. The lines must be parallel. You see how it's converse? It switched the hypothesis and the conclusion. So we've got two lines. We don't know that they're parallel, but we know that the corresponding angles are congruent. Therefore, we've proven that they are parallel. Alternate interior angle converse. We've got two lines cut by a transversal. The alternate interior angles are congruent. Therefore, the lines are parallel. Okay. Alternate exterior angle of converse. We've got two lines cut by a transversal. So the alternate exterior angles are congruent. Therefore, the lines have to be parallel. Consecutive interior angle converse. We've got two lines that are parallel, cut by a transversal. The consecutive interior angles are congruent or supplementary? Remember. Supplementary. Therefore, the lines are parallel.
Parallel.
Yes. Those pictures, those definitions, and those words should be written on your postulate and theorem sheet to use on Friday. Okay, these are going to disappear in just a second when I click out of this so that we can move on to our proof. We've got 2 proofs we're going to do and 6 quick little solving for x. You guys ready? Okay, we're going to move on to our proof. So everybody should be copying these down. Everybody's got to copy this proof as I do it so that you can be able to do it on a test or quiz. Okay. We've got angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, and K is parallel to H. Now we got to be careful with this because we're proving the alternate interior angle converse, which means we can't use the alternate interior angle converse. So let's write this down. What's the first thing we can always write down? The given. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Given. Good. Is there anything else up there that you think we could use, guys? Yes, Phil?
Angle 3 is congruent.
Angle 3 is congruent to angle 2. What do we call that? Okay. What else? If 1 is congruent to 2 and 2 is congruent to 3, then 1 is congruent to 3 by what? Transitive, good. Okay. Excuse me. All right, if 1 is congruent to 3, what do we call that? 1 is congruent to 3. Corresponding angles. So therefore, K is parallel to H by corresponding angle converse postulate. See how I stuck that extra C in there? That's because it's the converse. We didn't know the lines were parallel, but we did know that 1 and 3 were congruent to each other. Therefore, we now know that they're parallel. Okay. Let's look at one of these first problems. What can we do? What can x must be to prove that A and B are parallel to each other? No, do that again. We must set them equal to each other. And by setting them equal to each other, what is that? When I set them equal to each other, because what are these? Alternate interior angles. They're in between the two lines. Add 8 to both sides, and x equals 63. Okay, what are these two angles to each other for B? They're alternate interior angles, so they are congruent. 127 equals 5x plus 2. Subtract 2. 125 equals 5x. So x equals 25. Do we have any questions about those two? We went through them pretty quickly. Yes, Anicia?
Are they both alternate interior angles?
They are both alternate interior angles. Okay, let's prove the consecutive interior angle converse, if everybody's ready.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay, gonna move down now.
No, you just got that.
Angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary. We're trying to prove that P and Q are therefore parallel. So what is the first thing that we always start with? The given. Angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary. Given. Okay, what else do we see up here?
Angles 3.
We can't do consecutive interior angles because it's what we're trying to prove, but they are up there. Yes.
Aren't
Go.
angles 3 and 2?
alternate interior
Angle 3 and angle 2 are supplementary according to what? What do they form?
along
A line, and what is that called? Linear
pair.
linear pair postulate. Okay, if 1 is congruent to 2, if 1 is supplementary to 2 and 2 is supplementary to 3, then 1 and 3 are what? 1 and 3 are, you guys remember this? Congruent. Why are they congruent?
Alternate interior.
No, congruent supplement theorem. Congruent supplement theorem. If Phil and I add up to 180, and Phil and Sabrina add up to 180, then Sabrina and I must be equal. Congruent supplement theorem. Okay, now we've got 1 and 3 are congruent to each other. What is that? What can we do with that? 1 and 3 are what?
Not even.
Are alternate interior angles, and if alternate interior angles are congruent, then P and Q must be parallel according to what? Alternate interior angles? What am I missing? Converse theorem. Remember, it's converse. If we're trying to prove things are parallel, we use the converse. If we know they're parallel but trying to prove they're congruent or supplementary, we just use the regular one. You might want to write that down in your postulates and theorem sheet. Okay, we've got 4 more examples. What can we make x so that we know A and B are parallel to each other? We have to make them equal. Why? Because they're what kind of angles?
Complementary.
Not complementary. Starts with a C. Corresponding. Okay, so x equals 7. All right, what kind of angles are B? 4x and 64 are what? Are they in the interior or the exterior?
Exterior.
Are they alternate?
Yes.
So they're alternate exterior angles. So to use the alternate exterior angle converse, we set them equal to each other. They're congruent. So x equals 16. Okay, gonna move it up. I'll leave the answers worked out. All right, this one's tricky.
That's supposed to be an equal or a
It is. It's supposed to be an equal. X equals 16 is what it's supposed to say. All right, let's look at C. Are those two angles anything to each other? Alternate interior, alternate exterior, consecutive interior, corresponding? No. But is this one 105 right here? And what do these two form? A linear pair. 105 plus 4x plus 3, what does that equal? 1. Good. 105 plus 3 is 108. Plus 4x equals 180. Subtract 108. 4x equals 72. Divide by 4. X equals 18. Okay, we're looking at D. Those angles aren't anything, but I know this has to be 103 right here because they're corresponding. 103 plus 14x plus 7 is 180. Seven plus 103 is 110. 180 minus 110 is 70.
Yeah.
What's 70 divided by 14? Are we guessing?
Only get my calculator.
You got 70. How many times does it go under 14? 5 times 4 is 20. Oop. It's 20. 5 times 1 is 5, 6, 7. Yes. X equals 5.
Yep, it's 5.
Good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you should be getting out your what right now?
Journal.
Journals, your handy dandy notebook. It's okay, I'm just going to stop the recording.